Hello, and welcome to the Pocket Game.biz's In-App Inspector feature, where we look at the monetization of free-to-play games from the player's perspective. So this week we're looking at a game called Path of War, which is from a new studio called Envision Entertainment. So they worked on the Command & Conquer series. They worked on a browser version called Command & Conquer Tiberium Alliances for EA, which they're still, part of the team is still running actually. So they've got some quite good sort of strategy chops, if you will, and so this is their first mobile game. Quite interesting thematically as well. I'll just show you the map area. So this is sort of the gimmick of the game, I suppose, or the setup at least. That the players are cast as kind of rebels in sort of near future, alternate future sort of thing, version of America, in which there's been like a cyber terror attack, and the country is now like being run by a sort of oppressive military regime. So all of these you see here around fellow players. I don't know why I call my character Horatio, but there you go. This is my guy. So this is the camp. As you can see, that's what you saw a minute ago. And this will show you just how little progress I've actually made. This is the distance to Washington DC. Obviously, as you progress the game, the closer you move to Washington, which is where you're trying to get, basically, to try and overthrow the sort of government or regime or whatever. So that's all quite nice. It's sort of a vague story that's told mainly through sort of news bulletins and things like that. But the main gimmick, you can see I'm out of energy here, and that is an issue. I'd say that's something that happens quite a lot, but we'll get onto that later. But this is the main sort of thing that sets it apart from other games: the ability to move your base, physically move it, and so obviously we keep moving it further and further, but you can move it closer to enemies you want to attack, or things like that. Of course, now it's going to cost me fuel. I'll just do it just to show you. I'll pay for it with diamonds. So shall we attack? Again, I don't have enough. I'll pay with it. So you'll see some. I'll show you a bit of gameplay as well. Why not? So as you can see, that's another thing that sets it apart. It's almost Plants and Zombies-esque in that there's columns into which you deploy your units. So that's where the strategy comes from. Certain enemies are weak to certain units, and you can see here I get these little energy points, which are gathered for killing certain things, and then you use them like rockets and other things that heal units. I'm sure you've seen all this sort of thing before, but yeah, it's really the sort of column-based map system, which makes it different to other games. But by no means like the world's most groundbreaking. A few weeks ago in the In-App Inspector, we featured a game called The Incorruptibles, which was sort of trying to make mobile strategy, like move it away from Clash of Clans and make it like real-time movement and control over characters and things like that. Which felt like a real departure, whereas this Envision was sort of saying not similar things, but they were saying they really wanted to change up the mobile strategy genre, and it feels like they might have overstated just how much they are changing it, because as you can see, that was a little different, but not massively. So I'll start to show you some of my main issues with the game, because I did reject it. We have a scoring system on the In-App Inspector where either approved, passed, or rejected, and rejected is for the games we feel are too restrictive in terms of monetization, not generous enough, and I definitely feel that with this. So as you can see, a lot of wait times on the go, a lot of quite high wait times as well, especially as I'm at such a low level. That happens quite quickly. The wait times get very long, very sort of off-putting, and the same with energy as well, as you can sort of tell by the fact I haven't got any. So it ranges 95 per hour, so I've got a bit back now, but moving, as you saw before, requires energy, and attacking requires energy. And there's also, as you can see down the bottom here, refreshing, these command points, which they're used to deploy units. That's almost another energy system, because unless that's full, then you can't use you won't be full strength in battle. So I could go and have another battle now, but I would only be able to use a few of my units until, and so effectively I have to wait a few minutes or pay with gems in order here to whatever in order to fight again. So if we just look at the gems, have a starter pack here, which is actually quite good value for 3,000. Yeah, it's increase your cranes, your number of cranes, which is another thing you can pay for. You start off with 1, and that means that you can only build or upgrade one thing at a time. I'm at 2 at the moment because I paid for the second one, which is 50. But then if you want a third one, the cost quite quickly goes up to 500, which is 500 diamonds, which is a lot. Which is, as you saw here, that's £4.20 or around $6 in real money. So that's quite a lot to be spending. Accidentally clicked on the purchase thing there. I don't particularly want to spend £17, sorry. But yeah, so you have your soft currency, which is steel, which develops here. No real problems with that. Energy, we've already discussed, is a bit restrictive. But yeah, so the essential problem is it just feels you're not given enough. Here are a few sort of missions, and as you can see, you are gifted small quantities occasionally, but nowhere near at the rate you'd want. And also, when you do spend money, you don't feel as though there is sufficient impact. Like I bought 500, and you can see I'm still at level 6. I've still got quite a rubbish camp really. I haven't really got much to show for it, and it's still sort of enforcing me to play in very small stints. Even if I wanted to play for longer, it'd be very hard for you to, because you'd quickly just run out of energy, and you'd be waiting for long wait timers like this, and wouldn't be able to upgrade any more at the same time without having to upgrade more or spend more. So it's just it's just quite restrictive, and when given the sheer number of mobile strategy games out there, I would really find it quite hard to see why you'd choose to play this one. Some nice ideas aside, just the experience of playing it doesn't feel, it doesn't feel like the developer wants you to play it. They're almost like pushing you away at every turn. So yeah, that's Path of War. We'll look at another game next week. Thanks for watching.